Yes, a very good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Line on this Tuesday. It's great to have your company. Such a massive edition coming up this morning because it is time for the 2023 Australian Horse of the Year Awards, brought to you by Harness Racing Australia, all live here on the Morning Line this morning. And my first guest to welcome in is Brittany Graham, who's going to be running the awards alongside the CEO of Harness Racing Australia, Andrew Kelly. So, Britt, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Lewis. And yes, it's a real privilege to be able to announce these awards this morning here as a part of On the Pace and the Morning Line, something new, but for all that have been lucky enough, worked hard enough to have their horses acknowledged in such a prestigious manner, it's a great way to announce these awards. 2023 seems like a little way ago now, but the deeds of the horses that we are going to acknowledge this morning are going to live long in history off the back of these award announcements. And as you alluded to, it's great to have the CEO of Harness Racing Australia, Andrew Kelly, joining us this morning to officiate. Good morning, Andrew. And this has been a process. I'm sure that there were a few awards that were very keenly contested as well. And for all of those involved, we wish them the very best of luck in these announcements. But what a special morning.
Yeah, thanks, Britt. It is, and it's great to be able to deliver the news in this way. And today, and the announcing of these awards is one of the better tasks that a person in my role actually has, to be able to, what we used to do is ring people up and let them know that they had, their hard work and everything that happens in the background, the trials and tribulations which every horse goes through. And let them know their success, but we're trying something different this year, and I think it's a great opportunity with this show here that you and Lewis have put together to be able to have everyone tune in and a little bit more excitement than what would ordinarily be the case, where we'd pop a press release on the website and let everybody know. And of course, some of the winners today will be no surprise. They probably picked themselves, but there have been some other really hotly contested awards, and I'm looking forward to making them public.
Andrew, just on the process of coming up with these award winners, the voting process and the like, as I mentioned, it's been a couple of months now, so I'm sure that there were lots of people invited to cast their vote. And we're going to not only announce, of course, the Australian Horse of the Year this morning, but also those age group categories. And when we think back to 2023 and right back to the start, that was a fair while ago. So lots of people's opinions coming together here this morning.
That's right, and we had a change in eligibility for the Australian Horse of the Year this year as well. So they have to be trained in Australia, and then their performances in Australia are all those Australian trained horses' performances overseas. That can sometimes differ to the state controlling body awards and their criteria, but we thought it was a step in the right direction. They are HRA awards, they are Australian awards, and for that reason there was a change in eligibility that was approved some time ago, and that will be the way that we'll move forward. Each of the state controlling bodies are invited to give us a list of 5 independent persons that they think have the relevant attributes to be able to vote in these awards. It differs slightly between the pacers and the trotters. So as you'd imagine, without Tasmania having any trotting races, they don't actually supply any votes for the trotting categories. But in each of the states, there are 5 persons independently chosen by that particular state. We put out a survey. We provide them with names of probably the top performers, a little bit of information with their performances. As you said, some happened a while ago. They have the opportunity to digest all of that data and race replays and reacquaint themselves if they had forgotten on any of those particular deeds. And for the first time ever today, that I can find in our annals anyway, we have a tie, and it was a tie just not on votes but also on countback. So something a little bit more intriguing and shows how hotly contested these awards can be.
They certainly can. Let's get this underway and announce our paces by age categories for the Australian Horse of the Year. The first of which, of course, is a 2023 aged pacing horse and gelding, and of course that goes the way of Leap to Fame. Bred by Paul Carterfeld and owned by the Solid Earth syndicate of course, Kevin and Kay Seymour. What a year he had, headlined by this Inter-Dominion success, of course, only a 4-year-old as well. In the 2023 aged pacing mare division, this was taken out by Encipher, another 4-year-old who we know has subsequently retired, but she goes back to back to back after winning the 2-year-old and 3-year-old filly divisions of her year. Her headline performance was in the Tab Eureka, where she took home $1 million check herself, defeating Leap to Fame. The 2023 2-year-old pacing filly of the year was won by Lux Eterna. What an amazing season she had in her rookie year. She was bred by the Alf Laspina Trust alongside Brooklyn Lodge. This daughter of Captain Treacherous won the Gold Tiara at Bathurst. She also won the Breeders' Challenge in that amazing 1:49.9 time. The 2-year-old pacing colt or gelding of the year. This was certainly hotly contested and eventually awarded to Timmy Richter. Timmy Richter only had a short season, 6 starts in total, only tasted 1 defeat, 5 victories to his name, including this emphatic performance in the Breeders' Crown, trained by Emma Stewart and driven by David Moran. The 2023 pacing 3-year-old filly of the year, and herself going back to back after being crowned 2-year-old, is Major Delight. 10 starts in 2023 and $219,000 in prize money along the way. She polled 70% of the votes, bred and owned by Peter Lewis, his daughter of Better's Delight out of Lady Euthenia, capped off the year with the Breeders' Crown success. The 2023 3-year-old colt or gelding pacer of the year. Several names were very prominent in this division, but eventually has been awarded to Petrarca. He polled just over 50% of the votes. He only had a later season start, kicking off his 3-year-old campaign in August, but he made it worthwhile with his maiden Group 1 success in the Vicbred Super Series final and this performance in the Victoria Derby final. So many worthy winners there, Andrew, and I don't think there were any real surprises because we did have some great performances shown there on screen. But what a year for the pacing side of the business. Such excitement with both the aged awards going to 4-year-olds, which bodes well for the future of the sport. And when it comes to the 2- and 3-year-old divisions, there were some great races across 2023.
Yeah, well summed up, Brett. That's perfectly put. There's some great performances, and hopefully Danny Zavastanos is jumping up and down in his lounge room as we speak. I know he's very excited and passionate supporter of the industry, and I'm sure with Petrarca and the Melbourne Football Club all firing at the moment, he'll be very excited. But congratulations to all the connections of all the horses there, and as you quite rightly mentioned, I think it's just brilliant that Encipher and Leap to Fame as the age horses or paces of the year. They locked horns in the Tab Eureka and went on to particularly Leap to Fame. Just went on an amazing trajectory, and he in particular I just find such a pleasure to watch, and it's a real privilege to have been able to see a lot of those performances, and we'll talk about the trotters later, and obviously there's a standout there, but it's real sort of spike on the back of the neck stuff at the moment when you see these horses in full flight. And of course the competition that has been brought, these horses have only been so good because of the horses they've had to compete against, and the depth is great, and there's been such competitive racing throughout the year, and all of those horses will stand the test of time. I've got no doubt in those in the sort of the halls of our awards. Previous winners, and it's just such a fantastic fillip for not just the year that's gone, but the year ahead, and an exciting time for Encipher as well. Slightly different now as she heads to the breeding barn, and I understand that she was the first book to Confederate. So congratulations to Tyson Link on not only that the award for Encipher, but also what lies ahead, and who knows, at some stage in the future maybe Leap to Fame and Encipher will be joined again in a different way than they were locked in battle at Menangle that great night in September.
She was a pretty special mare, wasn't she, in Cypher, and she went undefeated in these awards as a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and as a 4-year-old she won the age pacing mare division, as we've just seen. So congratulations to all connections. Now, with all of those pacing divisions finalised, it's now time for the Australian Pacer of the Year.
Pacer of the Year, Leap to Fame.
Leap to Fame, charging down the outside. He makes it look so easy. We want more. Leap to Fame beats Spirit of St. Louis. Hot and treacherous, turn it up.
Leap to Fame came into his own as a 4-year-old. The son of Bettor's Delight out of Let Us Reason won 12 times in 2023. Owned by Kevin and Kay Seymour. Trained by Grant Dixon, his 2023 season included Group 1 success in the Rising Sun and Inter-Dominion Pacing Final.
I've got to give all credit to Grant and Trista. I mean, they've done a fantastic job. As you probably know, he bought the horse at the yearling sales for us. He's nurtured him all the way through. He's managed him perfectly. He hasn't over-raced him. But tonight, I think, was the icing on the cake.
What a horse, what a year Leap to Fame was able to put together, only starting his season a little later on. He missed those early season 4-year-old features, but he made up for lost time throughout the Queensland Constellations Carnival. He had a few trips south of the border as well, and then he came back to Albion Park for his crowning glory in the Inter-Dominion Pacing Grand Final in December. Andrew, you mentioned off the top there are a few obvious award winners, and I think Leap to Fame sits in that category. It would have been a surprise had it have been any other horse due to his dominance as a 4-year-old, but I'm sure for his connections it's still great to have it solidified and they're in print now.
Exactly right, Brett. He's he continued to just race after race stamp his authority on his rivals, and quite rightly takes his place at the pinnacle of the pacing set and awards for this particular year. But just going through these packages, and obviously you had the opportunity to have a look at all of them in their entirety prior to coming on today. But aren't our race callers fantastic? They're just such they're at the top of their game as well when these great horses are competing, and it's just kudos to them as well.
Well, it's such an important part of the puzzle, isn't it? And the atmosphere, and we long remember race calls along with performances, and that's certainly been the case again in 2023. So there are your pacing award winners for the 2023 season. We're going to take a quick breather here as a part of On the Pace, and on the other side, the Square Gators, the Trotters, step into the limelight with their award winners. A very warm welcome back to On the Pace on this Tuesday here as a part of the Morning Line. You're tuning into a very special edition with the announcement of the Australian Harness Horse of the Year Awards live here as a part of the show. We're joined by the CEO of Harness Racing Australia, Andrew Kelly, to formally conduct these awards. And Andrew, we've crowned the Pacers. Now it's the Trotters' turn, and it was a breakout year for the Trotter in many respects in our part of the world. We know that it's a growing gate. It's the international gate, but we saw that on display on several occasions throughout the year. We saw new races added to the calendar, juveniles really stepping up to the plate as well. This is something that is becoming very special in our harness racing sport. The Trotters have been a part of it for some time now, but it just felt as though 2023 took it to a new level.
Exactly right, Brett. The curtain's been lifted and the world can now see that our Trotters are up there with the best that they've got anywhere around the globe. And obviously Just Believe led that way. But when you look at particularly the times that are being run right through the grades and age divisions, it just highlights the improvement that's been coming now for some time, and that those bloodlines that have been introduced to our industry have been franked, and there's no doubt that it's only going to become more competitive in that space over the next little while. And just excited about what the future will bring for that particular gate. The sky's the limit, really. The times in particular are just highlighting that it's been quite an amazing step up and improvement, and it's been more of a revolution than an evolution, really, in terms of what we're seeing on the racetrack.
It was an incredible year, so let's highlight this year's Trotters of the Year by age category. The 2023 Age Trotting Horse or Gelding of the Year has been taken out by Just Believe. His maiden success in this award, bred by Yabby Dam Farms and raced by that very fortunate and lucky Iona Trotters syndicate. He had an amazing year, banking over $500,000 in stakes and going back-to-back in our greatest race, the Inter-Dominion. The 2023 Australian Age Trotting Mare of the Year is Queen Elida. Going back-to-back in this award as well, she was the 3-year-old Trotting Filly of the Year, and now she's been the pacing mare in consecutive years. Bred and owned in New Zealand, but she's really made Australia her own, and she polled 100% of the votes. The 2-year-old Trotting Filly of the Year for 2023 has been taken out by Violet Stanford. Raced by the Spunky Syndicate, she was really a bargain buy out of the Bathurst yearling sale. This daughter of Volstead was able to remain unbeaten as a 2-year-old. She went 5 from 5, highlighted by her Vicbred Super Series success. The 2-year-old Trotting Colt or Gelding of the Year, and as alluded to by Andrew earlier, has been a tie. Kicking off with Valtino as co-winner. Son of Love You, again bred by the Yabby Dam Farms operation. He had 10 starts in 2023 for 5 wins and 4 minors. He won the Nutrien final and here the Vicbred Super Series final. Co-owning that award with him is his fellow New South Welshman, Maximus Meridius. Bred and owned by the McDowells, I'm sure making this award even more special for them. He had a big year. He raced from April through to December, won the several features in his home state and also ran 3rd in the Breeders' Crown final. The 3-year-old Trotting Filly of the Year has been taken out in 2023 by Rockin' With Attitude. Going back-to-back in her division after winning the 2-year-old award, she had an amazing season, banking over $200,000, won the New South Wales Derby in Oaks, the Queensland Derby in Oaks, and she capped off the year with a Breeders' Crown success. The 3-year-old Trotting Colt or Gelding of the Year, a hotly contested division with some very much up-and-coming stars of the future, but in the end it's not as promised who has been crowned. Only starting his career early last year, he transferred to the Queensland stables of Graham Dwyer, won his first 5 races straight, and then made his way back to Victoria to win the Group 1 Victoria Trotters Derby. He also won the Breeders' Crown and subsequently went across to New Zealand to compete in their Derby as well. He had a stirring battle with London to a brick in the end for that victory, but not as promised, came out on top. Some great performances there again, Andrew, and very competitive divisions as well. We had a few standouts, but all in all, the racing throughout the year saw many twists and turns, and I think we saw that in the voting as well.
Exactly right. So Just Believe and Queen Elida, I suppose, spoke for themselves and gathered 100% of the votes in those particular categories that we've announced so far, but the rest of it was up and down, and in fact towards the end, I just had to make sure that every vote had been was in, because it certainly, particularly from the 3-year-old trotting ranks, needed everyone's votes to make sure that there weren't any anomalies and that we did have a clear winner. It was almost like watching a lead change, 4 times in the last quarter as we got towards the close of voting. So very hotly contested, but also all the winners were, obviously very much standing strong alongside all of the previous winners, and congratulations to all the connections that have been listed here. And we will also be announcing the Broodmare of the Year awards later in the week, and there is obviously a deep connection to some of these winners to those broodmares. So congratulations to everyone.
Yes, a big congratulations to all involved, and I'm sure that the announcement of these awards will hold a very special place in your heart for quite some time. They were the age category winners, so now it's time for the Australian Trotter of the Year.
Trotter of the Year, Just Believe.
Just Believe takes over. Mufasa Metro's trying to rally. Queen Elida can't reach them. Don't stop dreaming. Just keep believing. He's going to make history here. Just Believe. Race is clear. What a horse. What a moment. He's done it again.
Globe-trotting superstar Just Believe won 3 Trotting Masters events in 2023. The Group 1 Great Southern Star, the Group 1 Australian Trotting Grand Prix, the Group 1 Inter-Dominion Trotting Championships, trained by Jess Tubbs, owned by Yabby Dam Farms and leased to the Iona Trotters Syndicate. Just Believe put Australian trotters to the fore in 2023.
Very much more nervous this year. I watched from the stables. Got to keep an eye on Better Eclipse. So, watched in there with a few of our friends, and just nice to have a quiet moment. And, it doesn't matter where you watch when they go like that.
I said to Greg post-race how it's been a massive year for you two, and you probably have hardly seen each other, but moments like this make it all worthwhile. You work so hard, and you must think some cold winter mornings, oh, why are we doing this? But he's why.
Exactly. Last night I ended up in full meltdown mode on the way home from Melton Trots. The last horse didn't go very well. I'd had to rush a horse to the vets with a colic, and some days it's all a bit too much, but then coming up here and going through what we've been through tonight for so many excited owners, and it just means the world to them and to us, and we're so grateful for all of the support. And you're right, these are the moments we do it for.
What a team effort for all involved in Just Believe's 2023. Jess Tubbs, trainer, Greg Sugar's driver, bred and owned as alluded to by the Yabby Dam Farm stable and leased out by the Iona Trotter Syndicate. They have had some sort of whirlwind ride with this beautiful square gator. He started off with that Great Southern Star success. He provided Bailey McDonough with a maiden Group 1 victory along the way as well. Then that European adventure was something to behold, where he made Australia stand up and be counted before returning to go back-to-back in the Inter-Dominion. So richly deserved, Andrew. What a horse he's been for those close to him, and those of us from afar as well who've been lucky enough to watch what he's achieved.
Again, Brett, it's been a great privilege this year to watch a trotter of these talents, and quite often they'll talk about travelling horses and it can make them or break them, and certainly travelling to Sweden really seemed to improve Just Believe, and just that little package that you had together there about the hard work behind the scenes, and it's all horses. I can certainly appreciate the effort that everyone puts in, the additional effort that Jess Tubbs and Greg Sugar's put in with that European adventure, as you termed it, just highlighted their selflessness, but also their belief, and that's been rewarded. And congratulations to them. Hopefully they're taking a quiet moment to have to look back and be really proud of both their efforts and also their steed, who's excelled above and beyond, and is just a superstar in Sweden. Everyone wants to know what's happening with Harry and when he's racing next, and the interest in all of his races here in Australia, and more recently New Zealand as well, is testament to that. He would probably be one of the first horses picked in the elite lot for next year, but we all know that's unlikely to happen. But nonetheless, he has blazed a trail, and we hope that others will be able to follow.
He has been a trendsetter, hasn't he? Just Believe. And he's already off to a great start in 2024, as you alluded to. Runner-up in the Great Southern Star, but he bounced back in that tab trot in New Zealand on another international trip. And we will get to see him this Friday night as well, which is very exciting. Congratulations to all involved on your Australian Trotter of the Year award. We've now had all of the age awards at Pacer and Trotter of the Year. It's time for the big one, the Australian Horse of the Year.
Australian Harness Horse of the Year, Leap to Fame.
Leap to Fame. He has exploded away. Margin is over 12 metres. Future assured Swayze. Better Eclipse to the outside. Leap to Fame. Leap to Fame. Operation into Dominion complete. And it's all Larry. Leap to Fame bolts in. What a moment for Dixon.
At just 4 years old, Leap to Fame had a phenomenal 2023 season with sensational performances on the Grand Circuit. Second in the Group 1 Blacks Are Fake, third in the Victoria Cup, and first in the Inter-Dominion Pacing Finals. Trained by Grant Dixon, owned by Kevin and Kay Seymour. An open-class superstar, Leap to Fame's stature continued to rise in 2023.
So your Australian Harness Horse of the Year for 2023 has officially been crowned. His name is Leap to Fame, and off the back of his 3-year-old Pacing Coldwell Gelding of the Year victory the year prior, he's really made some sort of impression, hasn't he? What a season he was able to churn out. Congratulations to his breeder, Paul Carterfeld, on what has been, I'm sure, very much a pleasure to watch from afar after selling him through the Sydney yearling sales to Kevin and Kay Seymour, Grant and Trista Dixon and their family on this great success. And I would just like to read a bit of a statement from Kevin Seymour after being made aware of this award. Kevin said, "The journey Kay and I are on with Leap to Fame is exciting, but we were blown away when we received the trophies from HRA. They are absolutely magnificent and they will take pride of place in our trophy room. We would like to acknowledge the fantastic job our trainer Grant Dixon and his wife Trista have done in selecting Leap to Fame at the Sydney yearling sale and then taking him on to be such an outstanding racehorse and making this an exceptional and truly exciting part of our lives." So again, another massive congratulations to all involved. What a part of history they have now made. And Leap to Fame sits very proudly alongside some of the absolute greats of our sport, Andrew, now on this honour roll, and so richly deserved.
100%. It did take Kevin a very long time to declare him a champion, but now he has, and that's because he is. And congratulations to all concerned with the horse. Leap to Fame stands up there, head and shoulders above all others for this year at least. But next year is another year. So whilst we wrap up on 2023, it's just fantastic to have been able to look back on that today and be able to celebrate those magnificent victories. And as Kevin alluded to in his commentary there, the trophies, and shout out to John Hawke and the team at Renown, they are quite spectacular. They do take pride of place, and for all of the other winners, they will be packed up today and on their way to a mantelpiece or the pool room or wherever people like to put their trophies later this week. So it's just been great to be able to bring or deliver the award winners in this way.
Yeah, it's been a real privilege, Andrew, and we thank you for allowing us to showcase them. It's been a great morning, and for all those who have won, yes, you're very lucky to have these horses in your stable, but it simply comes down to hard work, really day in, day out, putting in the miles, and this is your just reward. So please do enjoy them and maybe take a moment today to realise your achievements in this great sport of harness racing, something that everybody involved, I'm sure, would love to be a part of sometime in their harness racing career. So that is the Australian Horse of the Year Awards for 2023 officially announced. Andrew, again, thank you for joining us. We're already well and truly into 2024, and this time next year, hopefully we can do much of the same. Thank you for your time this morning.
Look forward to it, Brett. All the best to you and the team at TAB and Sky Racing. And again, one last congratulations to all concerned. It's been terrific.
A nice bow on the 2023 season. What a year it was. New races added to the calendar. The Tab Eureka, of course, the world's richest harness race now here in Australia. The Inter-Dominion returned to Queensland in 2023 as well. So it was a big year, and we're already well and truly into a massive 2024, which I'm sure will be bigger and better again. Congratulations once again to all involved in the awards this morning. We're going to take a quick break as a part of On the Pace, and before we wrap up for this Tuesday, we'll recap the weekend that was.